Well, Philip said he's a little tired. I said I'm starving, I'm hungry, but we both don't care.
We don't care.
We're surrounded by beautiful roses.
Totally.
It's so good to see you,
Good
Philip.
to see you, Sandra.
I'm here with my friend Philip Watson. He is a noted horticulturalist. He's really the guy we go to when we want beautiful roses. And what you're about to see, 4 rose piece, a 4-piece collection that you can grow like a hedge, and you don't even have to know what you're doing.
It's beautiful. They're low maintenance, high impact. You know, there are a lot of roses. You know, they're miniature roses, they're climbing roses, they're shrub roses. These are for hedges. These will get 6 feet tall between you and your neighbor. It's awesome. 6 feet tall.
So we're just seeing the
and
beginning.
a column.
We're seeing the beginning of what these will be.
Second year, yours will be this big.
Okay.
Then they get 6 feet tall. They're great in containers because they're tall. So if you've got a deck area and you want columns of roses and you don't want to have a climber because you don't have a pole to grow it on, grow these straight up. Or if you've got a privacy hedge, which is usually just the evergreens, really kind of boring, plant these at the base of your privacy hedge for beauty.
So you were telling me that these were easy. Just how easy are they?
Well, how about this? You just stick them in the ground, you water them, and you fertilize them every now and then, and they go to town. They are black spot resistant.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about trimming them because you want them to get tall, but say if you want to keep them at 4.5 feet, just get out the hedge clippers and go to town on them. They don't care. It doesn't matter if you go crazy on them because they are very forgiving.
Wow, and as I'm looking at these, you got more ready to bloom right here. That's
They don't
spectacular.
stop.
Wow. So how long, when you say they don't stop, like what time of year will they start to bloom?
These
and
will
when
start
will they
blooming in late spring, and they bloom all the way through the very first frosts.
Wow.
And I like a rose that never stops.
I'm just thinking of, like, my neighbor has these beautiful roses and we enjoy them for about 3 weeks of the year and then they're done.
That's true of most fancy roses.
But with this, listen, I don't need fancy. I just want a big performer. So this is going to bloom over and over, like all
Well,
summer.
as in nonstop.
Wow.
These are perpetual bloomers, and they carry on, and it's a classic red rose. Which is the #1 favorite rose are the red roses. You can't go wrong with red roses. You got plenty to cut all summer long. I mean, you don't have to just have zinnias. You don't have to have flowers from the grocery store. You can have your own fresh roses with beautiful foliage all the way to the ground, and what you see is what you get. This is a big collection.
And really, they end up, think about what you'd be willing to spend on roses that basically just take very little care of them, and they will take care of most of it themselves. And what you're getting here, you're getting 4 of them for $41.92. Let's take a look at how these look in multiples. So is this at the Cottage Farms Center?
Lining a pathway like that.
Wow.
How gorgeous is that? Lining your driveway. Very, very beautiful. Or between you and your neighbors, or if you've got an elevated deck, around the skirt of the deck, to have flowers where you're just on this island of flowers. And also you have the fragrance of the roses that comes up from that. And constant bloom on these roses, and more roses than you've ever seen. Most of the hybrid tea roses they're just a little bit rangy. You can see through them. But we call these hedge roses because it is a hedge. It's not something that's a few limbs with roses out on the ends of it. This is absolutely a dense plant, and I know you're thinking, well, I don't know.
You just read my mind. I wanted to see what I was going to get.
This is the way they come out to you. This is one of these. So it's not a bare root rose.
So I'm not just getting a stick in a box.
No, and these are going to bloom like crazy this year. And these get 2 to 2.5 feet tall this year, and they're going to bloom like crazy this year. The more sun you give the roses, the more flowers you're going to have.
So they do like the sun. That's
yes, indeed, they do.
And then, oh, Philip.
Talking about, you go out to the yard, you get out of the doghouse without having to go to the florist.
Nice. Well, if you think about it, roses can be really, really expensive. But if you grow roses, you're almost afraid to cut them because you don't want to clear out your yard. With these, because they're blooming nonstop, you can afford to bring a few in.
It's absolutely constant bloom on these, and we've had hedge roses in before. And we've had different ones in, but finally we got this one back because I thought, when are we going to get that one back? Because I liked it because it was a great tool for me for landscaping. I don't always want to plant a hedge of boxwoods or a hedge of arborvitaes. I need to have some color there too. And even when I do have the evergreen hedges, I always plant these at the base.
Now I took some notes, and this seems like this is kind of amazing. So you were talking about how tall they would grow, but I have here that this collection will provide between 15 to 20 feet of hedge.
That is length.
Wow.
Length of hedge.
Length of hedge. So
That's
we're not talking about how tall. So
no, 6
length.
feet tall.
Right, right.
And that long.
So, oh my word, that's pretty incredible. 15 to 20 feet eventually of hedge.
These will get 4 to 5 feet wide.
Oh my word,
Each one
for
gets 4 to 5 feet wide.
$41.92.
And then they go straight up to 6 feet tall. You've got an absolute wall of flowers. I've got a fence in front of my house. And what I did is I've got climbing roses that are trained along the top of the fence. The fence is an 8-foot tall fence. I have hedge roses at the base because I literally wanted a wall of roses. And I wanted a wall of roses so that I didn't have to go out there and fiddle with. Most people who have roses, they're not going out there to enjoy the roses, they're going out there to see what is wrong with the roses
What
today.
do I need to do now?
And you go out there and you see nothing but beautiful flowers on these. It's not one of those that causes anxiety.
Well, and I like the whole idea, like I don't have to know how to prune a rose. They really will take care of themselves.
You can even do electric shears on these, which I see all the time. You see hedge roses in commercials.
Like what time of year would I do that? Like what?
I prune my roses in early spring, late winter, early spring. A lot of people prune things in the fall, the roses in the fall. That's not a good idea. Don't do that. Prune them
Wait,
at
this is
late
important.
winter.
If you're buying these, this is really important. Let them go through the fall, late winter, early springs when you're going to prune. And what's the reason for that? Like, I imagine the amount of blooms?
Well, no, the thing, it has nothing to do with that. You want the plant to have as much plant on it when cold winter time comes. It acts as its own mulch.
I did not know that
and also, stems that have not had a chance to heal in the winter time, so if you cut them late in the fall, what happens is that they freeze down in the hollow that you created by the cut stem, and it will explode the stems.
See, and this is why we need Philip. So not only does he bring us the roses that are so easy to grow, he gives us the master tips on how to make the most of what you've gotten home. So $41.92, shipping and handling is included. You're getting all 4.
Yes.
And if you've never grown roses before, this is a selection you recommend.
Absolutely, because this is my nuts and bolts collection that they're beautiful. And you've got to have something for purpose. I mean, you have a lot of things, say you've got daylilies to control the erosion on your bank. These are for privacy or for accent points, because being rose columns, if you've only got a patio garden, do these in whiskey barrel size containers, 1 in each container, and situate them around your patio or in the corners of your deck area, on either a pair of them on either end of your garage. You can use these as pairs, and these are fabulous as pairs. And you're getting 4, so you've got 2 pairs. You can do a pair by the back door and a pair by the front door.
Oh, wouldn't that be
my
pretty?
front door of my house, by the way, is red. So this is like over the top when I'm able to do this, and there's nothing finer than a red rose.
Well, guess what? Closing in on about 600 ordered, something like over 575 right now. Well, now more than that. So I'd say closing in on about 600 ordered. You're getting all 4 for $41.92. M43456, all 4. All red, you get a lot of impact.
You get a lot of impact, and you go out and you try to find these, and you'll find the hybrid teas, and you do the math on that. 4 roses, what it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a heap of money, and they're not going to be the ones that get the nice column. They're also not going to be the ones that bloom all the time. They're also not going to be the ones that don't have the disease problems. We have taken all of the trouble out for you. If you've always wanted to grow roses and had poor success with it, this is a chance, because guess what? They're also guaranteed for a full year. It doesn't get any better than that.
So you talked about how to take care of them. Don't prune them going into winter. Wait until winter's over before you prune.
Right.
How about when I first get these home? What do I need to know about planting them?
Well, just plant them no deeper than they are in the pot, and you can put them in a container or you can put them in the ground. And I plant mine about 4 feet apart.
Okay.
And then I fertilize them in with our bud flower booster for roses.
That first time you plant them,
I do that every second or third watering, and they're going to go to town on you. These will bloom like crazy this year. They will be wildly successful in your garden where all other roses have failed. So just because you've not been able to grow roses in the past doesn't mean you can't grow roses. You have probably chosen the wrong one.
Well, and isn't that really the way with roses? Roses can be, I think, more than almost any other flower, can be very, very intimidating. And
well, they can.
And the intimidation factor here is really taken away.
Well, they used to just grow the roses just for the flowers, because that's what you bought. You went to a rose catalog and you looked at the images of the flowers. You didn't see any foliage. You didn't see the shrubs or anything like that.
You didn't know how long those flowers might really bloom. You might enjoy them for a week or so.
Exactly. You didn't. But we have gone out. We go to plant evaluation trials. We pick out the absolute best ones. I approach our plants as a horticulturist. It's not just about the beauty, it's also about the structure of the plant. Is the plant going to be able to support that? Is it going to be able to continue that? Is the plant going to come back the next year? Is it going to get through the bad winter? Is it going to be able to stand hot summers? That's what this one does. It is extremely durable and beautiful. It's going to win the marathon and the beauty contest.
That's awesome. And I just think about it, you know, Philip can grow just about anything. I mean, this is his life's work. It's his passion. All you have to do is read Philip's book and see what he's been able to create for some of the most beautiful estates in the country, rooftop gardens in Manhattan. I mean, Philip has done it all. But what's important to me is I don't have Philip's skill, I don't have his knowledge, and frankly, I don't spend that much time with my plants as he does. So I like that you appreciate these, but I can appreciate them too, even if I've never grown roses before.
Well, even with my high-end gardens, I'm not there doing all the maintenance.
Well,
I've got
that's
a
a good
regular
point.
gardener doing that, and my clients will call me and they say, oh my gosh, we still have roses in October. You were so good. And I'm thinking, no, I chose the right plant.
That's a good point, because I know these estates that you've designed, oh, they are spectacular. You've shown me pictures, but really, you do the design and then maybe go back to visit every once in a while. You're
Correct.
not there on a weekly basis.
But I go back to photograph for a magazine or for a newspaper or
And they
for
still look
my
good.
next book. And it's important for me that the garden is camera ready. Every time I go to the garden, if I show up and the roses look really bad and I can't photograph it, I'm really unhappy about it. So I pick things that I know that are going to look good, because not only does the garden serve my clients, it serves my needs too, because I've got to use my camera on it and get this sucker published.
That is so funny. You know, Philip, you're saying things like I'd never really thought about before. Of course, you want your gardens to be camera ready. Now, probably nobody but me might take a picture of a flower I grow, but I don't need it camera ready. I need it dinner outside ready. I need it drive into my driveway and feel good about what I see ready.
Yeah.
And that's what you get with these.
That's exactly what you get. And this is the chance to finally get something that's going to work for you in your garden for your lifestyle. I garden, but I don't garden all the time.
And you also travel quite a bit.
I do.
You don't
I
want to come
travel.
home and have your garden trashed.
I don't.
That's right.
I want it to be beautiful. I want to say, I want it to say,
come home and say,
welcome
home, sweet
like,
home, yeah.
oh, look at us now. Look what happened while you were gone. Nothing good.
Exactly. So for all those reasons and more, here they are, the beautiful set of 4 roses that create a hedge, eventually providing 15 to 20 feet of hedge, growing up to, you know, you said almost 6 feet tall, 4 to 6 feet tall.
Yes, exactly. And
can we show again what we're going to receive?
we're going to do that, but
do
also
what you want
I'm
to
just
do.
going to do a little moving around too.
Okay.
Because I want to show, let's scan this and let's show you what a hedge is going to look like.
Okay.
This is what yours is going to do in its 2nd year. Look at this. We've got a long row of these roses. Boom, boom. This is what you're going to have in your garden. Imagine having a long row of red roses. Who wouldn't want that? Gorgeous.
Well, the person who wrote, I never promised you a rose garden, obviously didn't know how easy these are to grow.
They didn't.
Philip is promising you a rose garden.
We're promising, we're delivering, and we're guaranteeing a rose garden for you. This is the way they ship out. You're going to get 4 of these. These will get 6 feet tall. They'll be 2 to 3 feet tall the first season. These absolutely rock on.
It's so exciting to think that you can grow this even if you really have never grown roses before. And if you're someone like Philip, or you are a master gardener, then you know you can spend all your time worrying about something else that maybe doesn't perform as easily in the garden, because these babies will take care of themselves. $41.92 for all 4 roses, M456.
And finally, something beautiful. It's like, you know, you don't have to plant just privet hedge to have something that's easy. These are very easy roses, the easiest of the easy, and they deliver the classic red rose. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Don't miss out on them. I was so glad when we got them back in, because I use these. This is one of the things I use in the garden. There are some places where you can only use a shrub rose, but you always need a little bit of a hedge. You know, I design fancy parterres, which are boxwood patterns. I like a backdrop of color, so it's not just the patterns of the boxwood, but there's a wall of color in the background. These are perfect for that too.
So perfect if you have an estate with a boxwood maze,
Yeah.
or if you're like me, you just want to look out the kitchen window and see something pretty.
Exactly, and if you've got a picture window against the fence to look out and see a wall of roses, glorious.
Wow. So we have this map here. Explain what we're seeing.
Well, these roses are going to ship